Yeah. So nice guys finish last. Girls like bad boys. Those aren't just catchphrases. That is a reality. And so when you make certain choices, ladies, you get certain outcomes. And what happens in our community is there's a lot of things that are webbed together. You have women who deal with men who they know they shouldn't be dealing with and struggle up with that man and have that man's children and then turn around and talk about how men ain't shit, how somebody did them wrong, and how I've been with a man before, not for money. And y'all sit up and talk about this dude that was a low quality dude and act like, oh, all men are cheaters because you dealt with the bottom of the barrel. And this is an aspect of the bottom of the barrel dealing man. And the reason the women are attracted to him, and it's not all of our women, but there are a lot of women who are attracted to these guys, is it's an imitation of masculinity. It's not real masculinity. I know what real masculinity looks like. I remember back in the day, I had three branches under management. I was working for Chase. I had a guy who barely spoke any English. He was an engineer or some shit like that in his home country. I was closing a transaction for him. He was pulling like $100,000 out of his house so that he could get a whole bunch of bills paid off and get money together for his daughter to be in college. And we're sitting at the table and he starts crying. I send the closer out of the office and I address this man. Hey, what's going on, man? Because I'm thinking maybe he doesn't want to complete the transaction or something like that. And if that's the case, I don't want him to feel pressure. What's going on? So his daughter has to do the translating. And his daughter tells me that he's just shamed. He feels shameful because the brother's working at a fast food restaurant. And I looked at that man and I said, bro, let me tell you something. I don't give a shit where you work. Whatever you need to do to feed your family is what you were doing because feeding your family and taking care of your family is your number one job. That's your job. It's not that having on a suit. It's not it's doing whatever it is. Let me tell you something. If all the experience I had became worth nothing and I needed to go fucking work cleaning out toilets or a janitor or a stock boy overnight to feed my family, that's what I would do. So that's masculinity. Masculinity is about meeting your obligations and responsibilities no matter what, above your ego, above anything. Cost of life, limb, reputation don't matter. And these young men are not that. So the confusion is a lot of women are raised without dominant male figures in their life when they're young. And so they look at aggression. They look at somebody who wants to fuck on everybody. They look at somebody that sit up and get in their face and that they feel that type of danger from. And it's imitation masculine. It's not real masculinity. That's a child. That's a child, and y'all don't know no better. And so you dealing with these guys and you getting what you deserve, and then you complain about the outcomes that you get in your life because the same thing that keeps you from disqualifying this guy, which is childishness, is the same thing that keeps you from taking accountability for picking him, which is the same thing that led you to all the mistakes that you make with him. And then when you become an older woman, instead of taking responsibility for dealing with that bottom 18%, because that's who these men represent, you act like it's all the men and you lay it at the feet of all the men. And the purpose of this live isn't because Noble got overlooked when he was young and he's jealous of these guys and this, that, and the other. These men still ain't got shit. You
Marty,
can't live
Marty,
your
Marty,
life.
Marty, Marty, really quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. Like, I'm not entertaining what they saying in the comments. See, that's the thing. Like, I know who I am, and I'm confident in who I am. Like, I know the results that my life has got. I don't care about what they talk about in the comments. Like,
Wait, can I
Oh,
ask
yeah.
Marty a question
Yeah,
though?
yeah, okay.
they
Because
they
How
want
did you
Jesus.
Marty,
ask
Marty,
I
him?
Marty,
never.
Marty. They
If,
want me, Marty. They want me to be some guy that was overlooked, and now I'm mad and trying to figure. But they can want that. I don't
No,
care.
it was just the scenarios you were bringing up, Noble, that
I
people were
know,
like,
no,
okay, so
no,
how did
Zaria,
this?
Zaria,
But
Zaria.
I have a question for
I know
Marty.
you and other people in here are joking, but
Oh,
there's some people in here that they feel that I'm
yeah,
mad
I seen that shit in the comment
that's
section, and I'm gonna tell you something. Like when you see young men who not doing the right thing and they getting a whole bunch of play, you do look at it and be like, what the fuck is going on here? But
exactly.
at the same time, if you on your grind, then you know what's coming, because that's why you on your grind, because you know there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and there always is.
Right.
And when you do, nobody tells a lot of young men this, but when you do hit 35 and 40 years old and you have your shit together, let me tell you what women are like. Women who are unmarried, women who have who want to have children and want to settle down, and then they see a man who's got his shit together and ain't got a whole bunch of kids. Let me tell you how those women act. I'm talking about celebrities, news anchors, this, that, the whole nine yard. They lay down. They lay down. They want to get married. And so they do one date, find out what your resume is, and then want to get married in 6 months. And I lived that. I divorced when I was 36 years old. I was making a whole bunch of money. And even me with three kids, every woman I dated wanted to settle down and get married because they knew if they married me, I was going to sit their ass down somewhere. So for young men, the problem is a lot of these women have set up and dealt with these dudes. And then you want somebody to overlook your past and deal with Pookie's leftovers. And when y'all find out that good men don't want to do that, and they rather date younger girls who have done a better job maintaining their purity, they're looking at those women for wives. Then what we have is this thing where women are like, oh, you want to shame these women. Oh, body count doesn't matter. Oh, well, you want to control. That's why you want somebody young. We telling you why we want somebody young. We want somebody young because they ain't got all the relationship trauma that y'all got after you done been out on the market for 15 years, letting Ladarius bang your damn guts in. Don't nobody want his leftovers. Don't nobody want to take care of his kids and have his influence inside of their house. Don't nobody want none of that shit. Don't nobody want to
Well,
deal with a chick that got a man's name tattoo on them and you covered in tattoos and you done did all of this shit and you want somebody to overlook it because you trying to write your own story of your life and you don't care about nobody else's. Don't nobody want that. Not no man
okay,
who's
so
worked
I
to
know
put his
what.
life
Hold on,
together.
Oh, wait,
Noble.
wait, wait,
Hold
wait.
on,
Hold
hold
on.
on.
Please, please, hold on. Let him finish. Let him finish. Please let him
Oh,
finish.
I'm sorry. Go
I'm
ahead.
not talking to you ladies on the panel, okay? I'm not trying to come at y'all. I'm just explaining to the young men, bro, focus on yourself, because these women who are fatherless, who have never grown up with anybody to tell them to put them in check, this is why other cultures do better, because their fathers are able to say, you better not bring that motherfucker around here. I dare you. I dare you to bring a motherfucker like that around here. I got a
Yeah,
man right
I'm
here I
mad.
want you to get with. And they pick your husband. When I was in the military, one of my best friends was an Indian dude. I picked up on this guy because I hate bullies. And they was bullying him because I was in during the whole September 11th thing. And these cowboys don't know the difference between the Indian and the Arab. So they started punking him. And then me and him got real close. And then when we all got out of the service, I had top secret security clearance, and so did everybody that I went through with. And so they try to recruit you into government agencies, three-letter agencies. Well, he took one of those jobs, and then his dad got sick, and so he sent me, and I went to a particular college that was close to his parents, so I could care for his parents while I went to school. Because in the Indian culture, when your parents get sick, you go home, you take care of your parents. And so I went in his place and he went to a three-letter agency and I went to college and I took care of him. And then when he got done with his three-letter agency, his parents tried to set him up with a wife. And they introduced him to 10, 15 girls. They had families coming by, the mom, the dad. They sit down and have tea, and him and the girl will go on a walk and talk and see if they liked each other enough. And his parents kept producing women for him to try to meet. These other families don't play when it comes to connecting a family to somebody. They don't pick
As they
just for
should.
love
They shouldn't.
and like and all of that shit. He had he now works for the government still, right? He's got a PhD and makes $700,000 a year, and his wife is a doctor, and
Man.
they live in a house where if shit go tits up in this world, I'm going to his house because they got automatic metal shutters that close in the whole first two levels of the house because he worked for the government, so he know how fucked up shit is in this world. I'm just trying to say to y'all that you getting what y'all deserve. You
Facts.
are getting
Can I
what y'all
ask you a
deserve.
question?
Y'all are
Facts.
picking these men. Y'all are picking these men, and they're fucking your lives up because they fucked their own lives up. And then you act like you young and dumb, like you don't know no better, but you
Right.
do know better.
You see woman after woman. You
But
see
see, but Black G,
Ladarius. You see Ladarius and Keontae and Devontae and Jamonte do it to Zaria, Ayana, Kiana, Letitia, Shaniqua, Latea, and you still follow up. You still follow up, and you think that your circumstance is going to be different, but it's not. Let's talk about
and then you want somebody. You do it thinking that you're gonna be able to get out of it later on. That the punani pie that you're sitting on is gonna get you out of it later on. And then when you deal with men who have been disciplined their whole life and they deal with you and they smash and pass, then you act like all the men ain't shit. That's not it. You dealt with men when you was young who just wanted to fuck you and they did and couldn't offer you anything more. And now you've made yourself worth something that's only worth screwing and not worth wifing. And now that you're trying to deal with men who have their shit together, they treat you accordingly and you mad at them too. But the truth of the matter is you misplayed your youth. I'm sorry. Your degrees don't mean shit. Not when it comes to picking a husband. Men who want to marry want you for your youth. They want you for your beauty. They love you. They want you because they don't want somebody else who done fucked all over you and bust nuts on you and you done sit up and did gangbangs and all of this bullshit. That's what they want from you. And you give it to some low quality dude. And then when you come to somebody who got their shit together, you say, I was young, as if they supposed to overlook that. And we don't. I'm sorry. So you screwed.
Wait,
Ernie and Chuck and Larry and Sam and Eric, they supposed to take you and Ladarius and Devontae that got the tattoos on his neck and
nobody dealing with
it smell like straight gravel leaks.